With respect to the question of the credibility of Global Zero, this is, I think, a sentiment that has existed on the international stage for decades. It was something that gained speed with op-eds in influential newspapers, led by groups which included people like former Secretary of State Henry Kissinger. But right now, I think we're looking at a path diverging closer to this notion and the trend of nuclear proliferation at the regional level. Towards the end of the Cold War, there was an opportunity. We saw the decommissioning of nuclear weapons in former Soviet republics, the return of material, and so forth. And it was a very euphoric time, really. But since then, we've seen strategic arms reduction. But there still is a view for the large countries in the international system that nuclear weapons are an important part of their overall defense posture. So for the small regional countries, when they look at this type of stance, they feel that this is something of an inbuilt hypocrisy in the international system. So you'll always have that tension between the regional countries who are asked to nuclear disarm or not to pursue nuclear weapons, and the large countries that maintain minimal nuclear deterrence. So with respect to these countries and how nuclear weapons play a role, the key part has, I think, been historical experience. In the case of North Korea, in the early 1990s, it looked like North Korea was using a very nascent nuclear weapons program at that stage for bargaining purposes, for economic and diplomatic concessions. Right now, that looks quite different. It looks like North Korea, under a new leadership of a young guy of maybe 33 years old, Kim Jong-un, there's now a campaign to develop a nuclear weapons capability that very much is in the category of a deterrent. There might be room for discussion of drawing down that program, but the full elimination, nuclear disarmament, is something that currently isn't on the table.